All right, so the $64,000 question then, do you believe these are crafts being controlled from some entity beyond Earth?
So, Megan, that is an absolute great question as well. And if I may, just for a moment, because I want to be comprehensive with this answer, and I don't want to simply say yes or no. As human beings, we are what scientists often call cardiosocial animals, and what that means is for the first 9 months of our existence or whatnot, we're spent in our mother's womb, and we hear our mother's heartbeat, and as a result of that, we tend to look at things in extremes. And if somebody were to ask you, are you hot or are you cold? Up or down, left or right, good or bad, black or white. We tend to look at things like that in a very binary sense because we're human beings. But in reality, Mother Nature and the universe doesn't work off binary. It's far more complex. And so I've often told people this could be from outer space, it could be inner space, or the space in between. And what do I mean by that? Well, we now know through quantum physics that the universe is far more complex than we ever thought. And the bottom line is that we are now recognizing there are realities all around us that we don't, as a human being, we can't interface with. For example,
Mm.
if you were to go out on a starry night and look at the beautiful sky, you'd see a lot of pretty stars. But if you take a radio telescope and look at that same sky, all of a sudden everything looks different. You're now seeing an infrared and ultraviolet. Now you're seeing nebulas. So there are realities all around us. You and I having this very conversation. There are Wi-Fi signals coursing through your body. There's AM/FM signals. There's radar signals coming in from the airport. There's cosmic radiation coming in from the cosmos, and there's neutrinos coming in from the sun, just completely bathing us. And yet we can't interact with it. And the reason is because we have only five fundamental senses, if you will, to judge our reality in our universe. And so it's not it in essence, to make this short, 99% of the universe we can't even see or interact with, and yet it's real. So is it possible that these things are from outer space? Sure. But it's just as possible that these things could be just as natural to Earth as we are. And we're just not at a point now technologically where we can interact. Maybe these things are from
Mm.
under the ocean. And this is why I think we need to approach this topic with all options on the table until they're no longer on the table. We have to be careful to go down that rabbit hole prematurely that these are from outer space because it could be, but it could also be something very different. One of my colleagues said something that I think is very interesting. We spend millions of dollars each year trying to find microbial life on Mars. A lot of money is spent through the SETI program to search for technosignatures, technosignatures, by the way, in our own Milky Way. But this Earth has been here for a really long time. Is it possible that some sort of intelligent life found us first? And I think these are all possibilities. We have to, and at the end of the day, it could be foreign and adversarial too. So, to come back to, if you will, Earth, so to speak, forgive the pun here, it could very well be a terrestrial explanation. And this is why it's so important we have a conversation about this. It has to include not only our national security apparatus and our intelligence community, but I think it needs to include FAA and NOAA. I think we need to bring in NASA. They've stepped up to the plate, thank goodness. I think
Yeah,
we
they're
need to
doing
bring in
that.
yeah, I think academics and scientists, we all need to have part of this conversation because it may be a much bigger, much more profound question. Just simply, it's either from Earth or not.
Mm. Yeah, you're that was a fascinating answer, first of all. But second of all, your notion that maybe they found us first. We're off trying to explore Mars. Maybe they've already found us, and maybe they've been here for a long, long time. Reminds me of all the guff I give my husband Doug for watching all these shows on ancient aliens. Because I mean, if it involves World War II and aliens, he will watch it. If like I come
Yeah.
out of the bathroom after washing my face at night and he's just surfing, guaranteed that's where he's going to land. And it's fun to mock, but he's like, now you take me seriously when he saw me doing
Yeah.
all my research for this. Because who the hell knows? But I love the notion that, look, yes, could be from another planet, some sort of controlled force from another planet, but it could be some sort of force from our own planet, which we purport to understand but do not.
Megan, the universe is wondrous and complex. There were many times in our, this is maybe a paradigm moment for us now. And I'll just say this. This is not new to human beings. We have faced these pivotal moments in as a species, whether it was first crawling out of the cave and looking at the sun, or standing on a sandy beach and looking at the horizon. And it took one person to say, you know what, I'm going to sail over the horizon. And everybody, of course, said, well, there's sea monsters out there. The world is flat. You're going to fall off. And it turns out, that we are here because someone took that chance. And it turns out that there are sea monsters. There are great white sharks, and there's blue whales, and there's a giant squid of the Pacific. But we now realize they're not really monsters. They're just part of our world, part of our environment, part of nature, part of our reality. And maybe it turns out this is very much the same thing. Maybe we're standing on a sandy beach yet again, looking to the horizon, and this is simply just another horizon for
Mm.
our species.